The human who noticed that great spaceport of Velthara was always busy. Ships from many worlds landed here every day. The city was filled with bright lights, tall towers, and strange creatures from across the galaxy. In the center of the city stood the biggest attraction, the Grand Galactic Zoo. Tourists from every planet visited the zoo. They paid high prices to see rare alien animals, creatures, and even living beings displayed inside clear crystal cages. Many visitors saw it as entertainment. Few questioned how these beings ended up here, but one human visitor named Aaron saw it differently. Aaron's visitor had arrived on Velthara to deliver supplies for a research mission. He had heard about the famous zoo many times, but never visited it before. That morning, he decided to see it for himself. As he walked through the grand entrance, tall robotic guards scanned every visitor. The hallways were wide and clean, filled with soft music and colorful holograms. Strange animals from many planets were displayed behind thick crystal walls. Some swam in floating tanks, some crawled in strange forests built just for them. Most visitors laughed, pointed, and took pictures. But as Aaron moved deeper into the zoo, his smile faded. The crystal Kaji entered a quiet section called the sentient wing. Here, not just animals but intelligent beings were displayed like pets. Aaron's stomach tightened as he walked past cages holding small alien children. Strange-looking creatures with big eyes and rare beings dressed in beautiful clothes but trapped like exhibits. Then he saw her. In a tall crystal cage at the far end sat a small alien girl. She was different. Her skin was soft blue with faint glowing patterns like tiny stars. Her large golden eyes were wide, filled with fear and sadness. She was thin, her arms wrapped around her knees. She sat very still, as if she had lost all hope. Her face reminded Aaron of a lost kitten, small, helpless, but still watching everything with quiet pain. A sign above the cage read, "Species, Lyranthean, extremely rare, last of her line, acquired, legal sale." Aaron stopped. He couldn't move. Their first eye contact. For a long moment, Aaron stared at her, and then, very slowly, the girl looked up and met his eyes. Her gaze was not angry. It was not violent. It was not even begging. It was simply sad. As if she had been waiting for someone to see her not as an exhibit, but as a person. Aaron's chest tightened. He whispered softly under his breath, "What are you doing here, little one?" The girl tilted her head slightly. She couldn't hear him through the thick crystal, but somehow, she seemed to sense his voice. Other visitors walked past them, not paying attention. Aaron stood frozen. The uncomfortable truth of the zoo guides walked over to him, smiling. "Beautiful, isn't she? The last Lyranthean, very valuable. We're lucky to have her." Aaron turned to the guide, his voice sharp. "Is she a prisoner?" The guide laughed. No. She was purchased legally after her planet was lost. It's all within the galactic law. Visitors love seeing rare species." Aaron's fist tightened. "She's not an animal." The guide shrugged. "The law says she is now property. That's how the market works. Enjoy the rest of your visit." The guide walked away. Aaron stared at the girl again. Her sad eyes never looked away. The spark of connection as he stood there. Aaron slowly reached into his pocket. He pulled out a small soft fruit he had bought earlier. He gently placed it against the side of the crystal. The girl's golden eyes blinked. She slowly crawled closer to the crystal wall. She touched the crystal from her side, placing her small hand exactly where Aaron held the fruit. Of course, she couldn't take it. The wall was solid, but for a brief moment, they shared a silent gesture of kindness. Aaron whispered again, even though she couldn't hear, "I see you." The girl lowered her head slightly, as if understanding. The growing anger as Aaron walked out of the zoo that evening, his heart burned. He couldn't forgive her eyes. How could anyone see her as a simple display? How could the galaxy allow this? He knew one thing for sure. This was wrong, and somehow, someway, he needed to do something about it. The sadness in her kitten-like eyes followed him long after he left. Far above, the stars of Velthara sparkled brightly, but to Aaron, they suddenly looked much colder. Asterisk the forbidden question. Aaron couldn't sleep that night. The image of the little alien girl haunted his mind. Her wide golden eyes, full of silent sadness, stared back at him whenever he closed his eyes. He knew the law said she was property. He knew the galaxy allowed this kind of business. But to him, it felt wrong. Very wrong. The return to the zoo the next day. Aaron returned to the Grand Galactic Zoo. This time, he came alone and quietly. He avoided the big crowds and made his way straight to the sentient wing. There she was, still, sitting inside the tall crystal cage. She barely moved. Her small blue hands rested on her knees. But as Aaron approached, her head lifted. Their eyes met again. Aaron stood there, breathing slowly. He raised his hand and placed it softly against the crystal wall. The girl copied him from her side. No words were spoken, but the silent connection between them grew stronger. The first act of kindness, looking around carefully to make sure no one was watching. Aaron slowly slipped a small soft scarf from his pocket. It was colorful, warm, and smooth. He placed it against a tiny food slot in the lower corner of the cage. The slot allowed caretakers to pass food to the captive beings without opening the main door. The scanner beeped, but didn't block the soft fabric. The scarf slid through gently. The girl looked at it for a moment, then reached for it with careful hands. She touched the soft material, feeling its warmth. Her golden eyes blinked. For the first time, she smiled, just a little. The guide returned suddenly. The same zoo guide from before appeared behind Aaron. Still here? The guide asked with a fake smile. She's popular, isn't she? Aaron turned, trying to stay calm. How long has she been here? The guide shrugged. Nearly 2 cycles. Very valuable. The last known Lyranthean. After her planet was sold off, most of her people were scattered. She's lucky to be here. Actually, safe, well-fed, and admired. Aaron's voice grew sharper. She's not lucky. She's trapped. The guide's smile faded a little. Watch your words, human. You may not like the law, but you're still under it. I suggest you enjoy the show like everyone else, learning the dark truth. After the guide walked away, Aaron sat on a nearby bench, thinking hard. He pulled out his personal communicator and started searching. Quietly, he dug into the galactic trade records, looking for information on the Lyranthians. The truth made him sick. Her planet had been sold to mining corporations after a civil war. The people had been captured and traded as rare exotic beings. Now, she was displayed like an animal, and nobody seemed to care. The silent conversation as the day faded into evening. Aaron returned once again to stand near her cage. This time, he brought a small drawing pad and a pen. Through the clear crystal, he slowly began drawing simple pictures: a smiling face, a star, a small kitten with big eyes. The alien girl watched with curiosity. Her small blue fingers traced his drawings. From her side of the glass dot, after a few minutes, she used her own tiny finger to draw shapes on the glass circles, stars, hearts. Though they couldn't speak, they were talking. Aaron whispered softly, knowing she couldn't hear his words. I will not leave you here. The first word. Suddenly, a soft voice came through a small speaker inside the cage. It was weak, gentle, but clear. Why? You see me? Aaron froze. It was the first time she had spoken. Her voice was like the soft cry of a lost kitten, quiet, but full of deep loneliness. Aaron smiled softly. Because you are not a thing. You're not a display. You are someone. The girl blinked again, unsure, but hopeful. No one see me. Not before. Aaron placed his hand on the crystal once more. I see you now for the first time. Her eyes were not only sad, they carried a tiny spark of hope. The growing suspicion far away. Security cameras silently recorded everything inside a private office. The zoo manager watched the footage. His cold voice spoke into a communicator. The human visitor returns. Too often. He grows too close. Watch him carefully. If needed, remind him where his place is. The danger was growing. Aaron didn't know yet, but he was being watched. Helping her would not be easy. The silent bond. Every day, Aaron returned to the Grand Galactic Zoo. He went straight to the same crystal cage where the small alien girl waited. Each time, she was sitting there, watching the visitors, silent like always. But when Aaron arrived, her golden eyes would light up just a little. She sat up straighter. She waited for him. Her name was still a mystery. The sign above her cage said nothing but her species. But Aaron saw something deeper each day. She was slowly opening up. Their wordless language. Aaron brought small gifts each visit. Colorful scarves, simple soft toys, drawings, and sometimes small sweet fruits. Through the tiny food slot, he passed these items carefully. The guards allowed it, thinking it was harmless. But for the little alien girl, it meant everything. She would gently place each gift beside her bed, arranging them with care like small treasures. They created a simple game of drawing on the crystal glass. Aaron would draw a sun. She would draw a moon. He would draw a smiley face. She would copy it. They began speaking without words. The first Namion evening, as the crowds thinned, the girl softly spoke through the speaker. Lyria. Aaron's heart jumped out. It was the first time she shared her name. He smiled warmly. Lyria. That's beautiful. She blinked, her voice almost shy. Your name. Aaron gently placed his hand on the glass. Aaron. Her small fingers touched the glass too. For both of them, this tiny moment felt huge. The wall between them was still solid, but inside their hearts, the wall had already begun to break. The watchers groaned nervously above, in a dark office. The zoo director and his security team watched through the cameras. One guard whispered, "They talk every day now." The director narrowed his cold eyes. The human grows attached. This could become a problem. He's already asking too many questions. Another officer nodded. We could block him from entering. The director shook his head. Not yet. Let him feel safe. What increased surveillance? If he interferes with our business, we and him, the deeper connection he's past. The bond between Aaron and Lyria grew stronger. They shared small stories. Aaron talked about Earth, about trees, animals, and the oceans. Lyria listened carefully, wide-eyed, as if hearing stories from a dream. She softly told him about her lost home, her family taken away long ago, and the cold buyers who had sold her to this place. Alone, long time, she whispered. Aaron's heart ached. Not anymore, he promised. Lyria's golden eyes glimmered with a tiny spark of trust. For the first time in years, someone saw her as more than property. The warning late one evening, as Aaron was leaving the zoo, a guard stopped him near the exit. The guard's voice was low and sharp. You come here often, too often. You're drawing attention. Aaron stayed calm. I've done nothing wrong. The guard leaned closer. Walk carefully. Human, the owners do not like questions. You forget your place. You disappear. Aaron's jaw tightened. He said nothing and walked away. But inside, his anger burned. The secret decision that night. Back in his rented room, Aaron sat alone, thinking hard. He looked at the small drawing pad full of pictures Lyria had copied on the crystal. He whispered to himself, I can't leave her here. They'll keep her forever if no one does anything. He contacted a secret underground group he had heard whispers about, an organization that helped free enslaved beings across the galaxy. A quiet voice answered through his communicator. You want help freeing a Lyrianthian child from Velthara Zoo? That's dangerous. Aaron replied firmly. I don't care how dangerous it is. I just want her free. The voice paused, then spoke softly. We'll be in touch. Lyria's silent Hopethy next day. When Aaron returned to the zoo, Lyria met him as always. But today, her head tilted as if sensing his mood was different. Through the speaker, she asked softly, something changed? Aaron smiled gently. Soon, Lyria. Soon. She blinked, not fully understanding, but sensing something big was coming. She placed both hands on the crystal wall. Aaron placed his hand against hers. For both of them, hope had begun. But danger was now watching closely. Asterisk, the escape planet covered Velthara like a soft black blanket. The lights of the giant city sparkled below as ships moved through the sky. But in a small hidden room deep under the city, Aaron sat with a group of strangers. They were members of the secret underground network called the Free Stars, people who risked everything to save enslaved beings across the galaxy. A tall woman with sharp eyes led the group. Her name was Kira. The mission briefing Kira spoke in a low voice. You understand, human. This is no simple mission. The Grand Galactic Zoo is heavily guarded. Many have tried to free prisoners before. Many failed. Aaron looked straight into her eyes. I know the risks, but she's just a child. I can't leave her there. Kira nodded slowly. Good. We have a plan. But we will need your help from inside. Aaron listened carefully as they explained. He would continue visiting Lyria as usual. He would secretly plant small tools near the cage to disable the security field. On the night of the escape, the Free Stars would create a citywide blackout to disable power. A hidden exit tunnel under the zoo would be used to escape. The plan was dangerous, but it was their only chance. The preparation begins over the next few days. Aaron returned to the zoo daily. He acted normal, smiling at the guards, visiting Lyria like always. But secretly, he slipped small devices through the food slot. Tiny bugs that would slowly hack into the security system. Lyria noticed the changes. One day, through the speaker, she asked, What you doing? Aaron whispered softly, helping. Her golden eyes blinked in confusion, but she trusted him. The zoo grows suspicious inside the zoo's control room. Security officers grew nervous. One guard reported, "The human continues daily visits. The girl is reacting more. Their bond grows stronger." The director frowned. "Humans get attached easily, but he won't risk breaking our laws." Another guard added, "Still, we should prepare for problems." The director nodded coldly. "Double the guards at night and increase surveillance." They did not know yet that Aaron's small devices were already weakening their systems. The night before the night before the planned escape, Aaron visited Liraya one last time. He knew this might be their final conversation inside this cage. She sat quietly, watching him. Through the speaker, she whispered, "You, sad today?" Aaron smiled gently. "Not sad, just thinking." Liraya looked at him carefully. "Danger coming." Aaron was surprised by her words. Somehow, she sensed something was about to happen. He didn't want to scare her. "There may be danger, but I'll be there. I promise you. Remember, I won't leave you." Liraya slowly placed her small blue hand on the glass. "I trust you." "Aaron." He placed his hand against hers. For both of them, this simple touch meant everything. The Free Stars prepared that same night. The Free Stars team gathered near the underground tunnel entrance. Kira checked her gear. The power grid will drop at exactly 2 o'clock. You will have 5 minutes before backup systems activate. We move fast, or we fail. Everyone nodded. The countdown had begun. The danger grows far above. Inside the zoo control room, an unexpected visitor arrived. An officer rushed into the director's office. "Sir, we intercepted strange signals in the power grid. Someone is preparing to shut us down." The director's face turned cold. "The human, it must be him." He slammed his fist on the desk. "Prepare the lockdown. If he tries to take her, we end them both." The final battle was now set. The dangerous escapee clock on Aaron's wrist blinked. 1:59. The city of Velthara was quiet under the stars. But deep inside the Grand Galactic Zoo, tension was rising. Aaron stood once again near Liraya's cage. She was sitting quietly, but her golden eyes watched him carefully. She knew tonight was different. Aaron leaned close to the crystal wall and whispered softly, "Be ready. When the lights go out, I'll come for you." Liraya nodded, her small blue fingers lightly pressing the glass. "I trust." The blackout begins at exactly 2 o'clock. The city lights flickered. For a few seconds, everything went dark. Then the emergency backup lights switched on, but only dimly. The zoo security field around Liraya's cage hummed weakly. The small devices Aaron planted had done their job. Kira's voice came through Aaron's small earpiece. "We're inside. Move now." Breaking the keg, Aaron pulled a small pulse device from his coat and pressed it against the control panel on Liraya's cage. With a short spark, the crystal barrier powered down. For the first time, the space between them was open. Liraya stepped forward slowly, scared but brave. Aaron quickly wrapped her in a dark cloak. "Stay close. Don't make a sound." She grabbed his hand tightly. The guards react, but the zoo's director had already prepared his trap. Inside the control room, alarms flashed red. The human is making his move. Dozens of armed guards rushed through the hallways. The zoo locked down its main gates. Steel doors slammed shut. The escape path was closing fast. Running through the tunnel, Sarin and Liraya ran through the dark hallways. The Free Stars team guided them through secret maintenance passages. Blaster fire echoed behind them as guards chased close. Liraya stumbled once, but Aaron quickly lifted her into his arms, running faster. Her small voice whispered in fear, "Aaron, danger. Hold on. We're almost there." Cornered at the exodus, they reached the final tunnel toward the underground exit. A squad of guards blocked the path. The leader shouted, "Stop now, human. You're breaking galactic law." Aaron stood firm, shielding Liraya behind him. "The law is broken when you sell children like animals." The guards raised their weapons. Blaster shots fired. Aaron ducked behind metal crates, covering Liraya with his own body. Sparks flew everywhere. The Free Stars arrived at the last second. Kira and her team burst through a hidden side door. "Cover! Fire!" Kira shouted. Her team returned fire, pushing the guards back. One of the Free Stars threw a smoke grenade, filling the tunnel with thick white clouds. Aaron felt a strong hand pull him forward. "Move, now." With Liraya clinging tightly to him, they dashed into the hidden escape tunnel. The steel door slammed shut behind them. Escape into the stars minutes later. The small Freestar's shuttle lifted off from a secret launch pad dot as the city shrank. Below, Lyria sat quietly beside Aaron, wrapped in the soft cloak for the first time in her life. She was free. She looked up at Aaron, her golden eyes wide. Safe? Now. Aaron smiled softly, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. Safe now, Lyria whispered in a small voice. You didn't leave me. Aaron's voice was warm. I promised, and I never will. As the stars of space filled the window, Lyria leaned her head softly against Aaron's arm. Her lost kitten eyes no longer carried fear, only hope. But their journey was not yet over. The real fight for justice had just begun. Asterisk the truth revealed. Small Freestar's ship raced through the stars, leaving Velthara far behind. Inside the ship, Aaron sat quietly beside Lyria. She stayed close to him, wrapped in her warm cloak. Her golden eyes blinked softly, still full of wonder. She had never seen open space before. For the first time, she was truly free. But Aaron knew their mission was not over. The hidden base. After a long journey, the ship arrived at a hidden Freestar's base deep inside a quiet asteroid field. Inside the safe base, doctors checked Lyria carefully. She was healthy, but still weak from her long time in captivity. Kira, the leader of Freestars, came to Aaron with serious news. We have evidence now, but exposing the zoo won't be easy. The owners are rich. They control many politicians. Aaron's voice was firm. Then we go public. Let the whole galaxy see what they've done. Kira nodded. It will be dangerous. They will come after you. Aaron looked at Lyria, who was sleeping peacefully nearby. I'm ready. Lyria's story. When Lyria woke, Aaron gently spoke to her. Lyria, we need your help. Your voice matters. She hesitated, frightened. She had never spoken to anyone but him. Aaron smiled gently. I'll be beside you. Lyria nodded slowly. I try. The galactic broadcast. Few days later, a special galactic broadcast was prepared. News stations across the galaxy picked up the feed. Millions of viewers watched as Aaron stood before the cameras. He spoke calmly, but with deep passion. This child, Lyria, was displayed as an animal, but soul displayed for amusement. She is not an object. She is not a creature. She is a person. The screen showed hidden footage from the zoo guards mistreating sentient beings. Caged children crying silently behind crystal walls. The footage was powerful. Then Lyria stepped forward, standing beside Aaron. Her small voice spoke softly, but clearly. I am Lyria. My family taken, my people sold, my home gone. Tears filled her golden eyes. But I am not an animal. The galaxy watched in silence. The public outrage within hours. The broadcast spread everywhere. People across dozens of planets protested. Social media exploded with anger. Shut down the zoo. Free the sentient beings. Justice for Lyria. Even some governments, who had quietly allowed the trade for years, could no longer stay silent. Under heavy pressure, the Galactic Council called for an emergency hearing. The zoo owners panicked back on Velthara. The zoo owners gathered in fear. One of them shouted, "The human ruined everything. The people are turning against us." Another added, "Our business is finished if the council bans sentient trade." The director growled, "Then we silence the human before the hearing. Permanently." They hired bounty hunters to hunt Aaron down. The assassins struck a few days later. As Aaron and Lyria were being transported to the Galactic Council for the hearing, a group of heavily armed bounty hunters ambushed their convoy. Blaster fire erupted. Freestar's guards fought back bravely. Aaron shielded Lyria behind a thick armored wall. "Stay down. Don't move," he shouted. Explosions shook the transport. Kira's voice crackled over the radio. "Hold them. Reinforcements incoming." After a long and brutal fight, the attackers were finally defeated. Aaron rushed to Lyria's side. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head softly. "I'm safe because of you." Aaron smiled, wiping a tear from her cheek. "Because of us." The council hearing finally, they reached the Galactic Council. The hearing was broadcast live to the entire galaxy. Aaron and Lyria stood together as witnesses. The council members listened carefully to the evidence, hidden recordings, witness statements, financial documents. The zoo's crimes were fully exposed. The council leader stood and spoke firmly. "The slavery of sentient beings ends today. The Grand Galactic Zoo is shut down. All captive beings are to be freed, and new laws will protect every sentient life." The courtroom erupted with loud applause. Lyria's soft voice as they left the council chamber. Reporters swarmed around them. One reporter asked Lyria softly, "Do you feel free now?" Lyria looked up at Aaron, then back at the cameras. Her small voice spoke, filled with gentle pride. "I'm free, because someone saw me." Aaron smiled beside her, proud and full of emotion. A new life togetherness had passed since the Galactic Council shut down the Grand Galactic Zoo. The dark business of selling sentient beings was finally over, across many worlds. Freed captives returned to their people, but for Lyria, everything was still new. She was free now. No more cages. No more cold crystal walls. But she had no family left. Her people were gone. Her homeworld was lost. And yet, she was not alone. She had Aaron. A home among the stars. Sarin brought Lyria to his small home on a peaceful human colony. The planet had green fields, tall trees, and wide open skies. Birds flew freely in the air, and flowers covered the hills. Lyria stood outside their small house, staring up at the blue sky. She whispered softly, "Sky, big." Aaron smiled. "Yes, and it's yours now. No walls, no cages." She turned to him, her golden eyes shining gently. "Thank you, Aaron." Learning a new world each day, Lyria learned new things. She played with human children. She laughed. She tasted new foods and listened to new music. She loved the flowers the most. Every morning, she picked colorful ones and placed them inside the house. One afternoon, she brought a bright yellow flower to Aaron. "I like this color." Aaron smiled and gently placed the flower in a small glass vase. "It's beautiful, like you." Lyria blushed softly, lowering her head with a shy smile. The small fears remained at night. Sometimes Lyria still woke up crying. The memories of her captivity still haunted her dreams. Aaron would sit beside her bed, gently holding her hand. "You're safe now," he would whisper. "You're home." She would calm slowly, her small fingers wrapping tightly around his. "Never leave, never." The new mission as time passed, Aaron and Lyria worked with the Free Stars organization. They helped find other lost children from different planets, giving them new homes, new families, and new futures. Lyria's story became famous across the galaxy. In schools, teachers told young students, "Do you know how the Great Zoo was shut down?" And children would answer, "Because one human saw the eyes of a little girl. And he said, 'I see you,' the bond that could not be broken all evening." As the sun set over the quiet fields, Aaron and Lyria sat together on the small porch of their house. The stars above began to shine. Lyria looked up and whispered, "Stars. Free too." Aaron smiled. "Yes, and so are you." She rested her head softly on his shoulder. "Because you saw me, Aaron." He gently placed his arm around her. "Because you let me." They sat quietly under the stars, a man and a girl from the very different worlds, bound forever by a simple act of kindness, not master and servant, not rescuer and victim, but family.